Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of Physicians for Reform, Dr. C.L. Gray.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in the United States when men were free. Ronald Reagan. Our world has changed. Even now, an unseen force grinds away, reshaping the nation we know and love. But reshaping her into what? This is the question. A hidden hand seeks to remake our beloved country. So we're walking through an airport, one can sense it. Conversations with friends and family reveal an inner turmoil, mental pacing, a silent restlessness that lies just beyond view. Our margin is gone, bank accounts leaner, and paychecks less certain. Yet, there is more. A fundamental transformation of culture marches forward. We, the people, see our future fading before us. This is the specter that haunts our dreams. For perhaps the first time in American history, we, the people, fear our government. Not in a partisan sense, but in a sense that Washington is deaf to the ordinary citizen. In the sense that politicians have squandered our children's future. In the sense that the greater good now consumes individual liberty. Most of the world knows this fear. History is replete with examples of the ruling class holding the common citizen in contempt. But for the American, this is new. In January 2009, America embraced a bold new future of hope and change, trusting government to solve our nation's many problems. Yet, freedom may be the price we pay. Moved by a desire for social justice, Americans contemplated the socialism of Europe with enamored eye. In many quarters, cheers and accolades greeted the thought that government provide health care for every American. However, liberty can be lost amidst the applause of men. In these times of testing, history demands that we as Americans remember the best of who we are. Our founding fathers believed government derived its power from the consent of the governed. And it is here that we find hope, for it is here that we, the people, find a truth strong enough to combat the political power in Washington. We, the people, must remember our birthright and choose to act. If freedom is to survive, we, the people, must reclaim our just position as the source of power in Washington. This is why we fight, and this is what brings us here together today. And each of us brings our own story. I delivered my first major speech on the future of healthcare in 1999. Even then, I could sense the gathering storm. In 2005, a former Reagan employee read an early manuscript of my book, The Battle for America's Soul. It was he who encouraged me to launch a nonprofit to engage the upcoming debate on health care. In 2006, I founded Physicians for Reform, a nonprofit organization committed to preserving the patient-physician relationship. And in 2012, I worked with Jenny Beth and others to film the movie The Determinators. We did this to help our fellow American understand the truth behind Obamacare. And now in 2014, I am working with a team to build a coalition of states to confront Washington and return power to once again to where it belongs. With you, with me, with we the people. I'll close with a short story. In Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, Frodo struggles to carry a ring from the peaceful Shire into the depths of Mount Doom. He knows that for whatever reason, it has fallen to him to carry this heavy burden. And should he fail, his homeland would never be the same again. At the end of Tolkien's book, The Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo's band of brothers begins to fall apart. Faced with massive uncertainty and seemingly impossible odds, Frodo states, "I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened." The wise and constant Gandalf then replies, "So do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given you. None in this room asked for our nation to fall into such times. No one here asked for the IRS to lift the heavy hand of government against you. None of us ever dreamed that the rule of law, in fact, the very foundations of freedom, would be swept aside with such reckless disregard. Like Frodo, we wished that none of this had happened. But these are the times in which we live. What I ask of you now is to stand with me in our fight for freedom, for this is our rendezvous with destiny. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,